Spoiler alert, this campground has quite the view.
We're back at it today, and this time we're in Banff National Park, and we're actually at the most northern campground here, which is Rampart Creek Campground, south of the Columbia Icefields, and we're way far north of Lake Louise. And like I said, this is the most northern campground in Banff, so it's really difficult to find a camping spot here. I'm guessing that this one is probably not as popular as some of the other ones just because of its location. And also about 10 kilometers north of here, there's Coleman Creek. That's just a day use area, just a place where you can come in. There's a couple washrooms, a little parking lot, and there's a nice open meadow with this little creek. Maybe one day they'll change that into a campground, but that would be the closest other place to stop for a rest. So if you're coming from Jasper National Park down towards Banff, don't get confused with Coleman Creek, not the same as Rampart Creek, because we're directly in the middle here. We're about 150 kilometers south of Jasper and 150 kilometers north of Banff. The closest infrastructure you'll be able to find from here is the North Saskatchewan crossing. There's a hotel there, there's fuel, there's a restaurant. It's not always open, especially during the winter. I think it's only open from like May to October-ish. And they don't even have cell service there at all either. So that'd be the closest spot if you forgot, if you needed to buy something. So this one has kind of basic services. There's 4 toilets because there's kind of 4 distinct loops. There's obviously recycling and garbages, and you'll have a cooking shelter in all 4 of the sites. That's about it as far as services go. There's no sani-dump or there's no water to fill up your RV. I think the closest one from here would be the Waterfowl Lakes Campground, or if you go north, you can find some at the Columbia Icefields. But as long as you have everything that you need with you, you have everything you need here to camp. Just on the way in, the mountain range all along the side, and you got the North Saskatchewan River the far back that's crossing over. So as far as camping in this location, it's super, super gorgeous area. So it's a fairly small campground, so let's go check out all of the sites, and I'll show you guys what all the anemones look like here, and then we'll see if we can find some cool views along the way at the Rampart Creek Campground. I'm in the first loop, which is sites 1 through 11. And a lot of the sites here seem to be like kind of driveway type, except for the one over there, like site 9, it seems like it's part of where the shelter is, but there's washrooms beside this main shelter. This also reminds me a little bit of Johnston Creek Canyon. It's like the old style big wooden structures, like super solid. These will last a long, long time with the thickness of wood that's here. They decided to eliminate one of the chimneys here. You probably don't need to use both at the same time. Something that I've been noticing a lot is that most of them don't have places to hang. A lot of us will put a fire, and we'll hang clothes to dry out stuff. It doesn't happen often, but when you get caught in the rain, it's nice to have it. Something you can do too in this situation, you could just put your pole in between these two beams, run down your jacket or that kind of stuff you want to hang and dry. These three loops that are kind of pointing north, they all kind of look exactly the same. The toilets and the garbage and the recycling and the cooking shelter, all of them seem to have the second chimney abandoned. I guess removing the cast iron stove there is probably very difficult. The last loop here, these are the numbers in like the 30s. At the far back there, you have access to the river. So we're gonna go check that out. It's primo. These are prime spots. If you come here and you have the choice, definitely grab something along the edge here. I mean, there's nothing stopping you from going and checking it out while you're here, but it's kind of nice to camp right along the river back there. It's super gorgeous. The creek gives you kind of an open view of the mountains straight up. And something else I found, there's a nifty little path. They just put some stones and it goes from the creek all the way up to the main registration area or the first loop. So that's kind of neat. Everything on the ground here is covered in moss, so when you step on that, it kills the moss. So definitely if you're walking from one campsite to the next, make sure that you step on the paths and the trails and don't step on the moss that's on the ground, because that stuff takes a super long time to grow. Let's go back there and show you guys what some of the back end views are for the campsites. Well, look at this. This is the North Saskatchewan River. It starts way down there at the Big Bend, and it flows through here, meets up with the Howes River further down at the Howes Pass, and then it turns and it goes directly eastward. It doesn't even feel like a river here, it feels just like a little creek. And I hope that this video helps you guys decide to come and camp and explore and hike and just get outside and enjoy the Canadian Rockies, because it might be your most memorable vacation you'll ever take. And this is the North Saskatchewan River, right beside the Rampart Creek Campground. And I'm Eric Chombley, and these are my adventures. Peace out.